Welcome to the Love Kanique podcast. My name is Kanika,
My name is Benita.
and we are back for another show. It seems like we've been gone forever. And
In
that
two
is,
weeks.
yeah, that is because we went to see Janet Jackson, the Wednesday show, and then we jetted off to Aruba for vacation, which was lovely.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. We are definitely back and we are excited to be back chopping it up with you guys. So, as always, welcome. My name is Kanika
My name is
and
Benita.
that's Vanita. And we're kind of a new podcast and a new channel, as you probably can see. We've been doing this a little over a year. So, if you don't mind subscribing or liking the video, so it can eventually get in the algorithm so more people can know about our podcast and hopefully get us the support that you all give us, which we appreciate so much, um, more than you know. So tonight we're going to talk about you probably have heard by now, I'm sure, unless you lived on a rock, but if you've been in social media, you probably heard the all the uproar last week about um, the attorney, Ebony, um, telling Iyanla Van Zant that she wouldn't date a bus driver. She would only date a man who owned the bus. And this topic has been going on for a minute now, way before Ebony kind of started off with this topic started to get a lot of buzz when Kevin Samuels was alive because of what the women were calling into the show, saying that they desire for men financially to date them or to marry them. So this has been going on for a minute, and now you can kind of see the same thing on the Kendra G dating show, which I'm going to play just a couple of clips from women on her show, just the part where she asked them about their financial requirements for men. So I just want to show you kind of what they're saying, and Vanita and I will kind of discuss what we think about what they're saying, our own personal, if we have any financial requirements for men, if we're dating them, and so on and so forth. So just gonna again, it's gonna be real quick. I'm gonna show you three clips, probably 10 seconds apiece, and it gets to the point. So it'll be quick, and then we'll come back in and talk about it. So give me a second, guys. I gotta make sure I'm sharing my screen correctly because my other screen isn't working. The cord is messed up, so I'm gonna have to share this screen on one. Um, I don't even know if it's gonna do it. I hope so. I don't know if it's gonna do it. Let's see. Oh, oh goodness! I don't think it's gonna do it, y'all. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna do it. Damn it! But anyway, it would
Can you
have
play
did.
the audio at
Oh,
least?
I can. Maybe I can play the audio. Tell me if you can hear it, Vanita.
All
Tell
right.
me if you can hear it. Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play the first one. To the best of my ability. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Compliment me. Okay, here we go.
You gotta compliment her. Okay. We gotta make a certain amount of money.
At least like 150. At least 150,000. Okay, just quickly. Kendra G asked her how much money does he need to make, and she said
And
$150,000.
$50. Yeah.
150,000. Okay,
Hmm.
a year. Huh. Kendra's
She
like,
said at
whoa.
least.
Of course, I just said I had 3 kids. I take care of my own household. So, yeah, he got to be able to support.
Did your baby daddies make $150,000?
I'm not with them, so I can't tell you what's in their pocket.
What's in her pockets? Does she say?
Yeah.
Did they make 150K?
My
My youngest two kids did.
Her youngest what?
What did
Two
he do
kids,
for a
father made
He was
150K.
actually culinary
Okay.
chef.
So she say, okay. So that's lady number one. Okay, so we're going to lady number two. Divorced mama 4. Here she go.
Things in life with me. Is there a minimum number? At least $250,000.
A quarter of a million?
Yeah, $250,000.
Yes.
Okay.
250.
Your ex-husband made? No, my ex-husband did make 6 figures, but he wasn't at $250,000. Okay. But moving forward, the man has to make at least $250K. Yes.
Okay.
Do you have kids?
Yeah. Okay, let me go on to the next lady. Okay.
Okay.
So here she goes.
Wait a minute. Number 2 had 4 kids, right?
Yeah, she has 4 kids.
Number 1 had 3 kids?
She has 3 kids.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
listening. Go ahead.
The last one, here she goes.
Okay.
You make a certain amount of money or you don't care? I care. What's the least amount of money he can make? 150. Oh, okay. So 150, you couldn't even do 6 figures. You couldn't do 100K. I'll do 100. It's comfortable. So if you have to do 100, if you don't want to do 100, I was just asking. Do you want? If you have 100K in debt and you only make 100K, then no. If you have 25K in debt and you make 100K, then fine.
Okay.
I mean, like it's kind of relative.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. Okay. So now this is
Before you go on, the 3 ladies, because keep in mind we can't see them as an audience.
okay. Yeah.
What was the culture of those 3 individuals?
What do you need?
What are their race? Were
They're
they black
black.
women?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
black women. Yeah. What? Yeah. Why you ask that?
It's just a question. I mean, we're about to have a conversation regarding 3 women that we didn't get a chance to see, that we can't see. We heard what they said. I would like to not assume that they're black women if they're not.
Okay. Yeah, they're
So
definitely
it's just
black
easier.
women. Yeah, they're
Yeah, it's
definitely
easier to
black
ask the
women.
question. Okay.
And I watch the show. I see the clips because I follow her. They come down our timeline, and I'm personally not against women desiring. I feel like I can go out on a limb and say the majority of women desire a man who makes that amount of money. I can comfortably say that most of us desire that.
When you say a comfortable amount, because 2 ladies said 150, one said 250. So
Yeah.
are you saying those amounts are the comfortable amounts? Or are you saying over 100K?
Yeah,
What
I'm
are you
saying
saying?
that. And now, mind you, I'm saying desire. Like most women
Yeah.
desire. Most women desire multimillionaires.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. So I can comfortably say that what they're saying, although it sounds extreme, it's a desire. It's almost like the same as men desiring Beyonce. You desire your woman to look a certain kind of way. That doesn't mean that you won't take someone who may not look like Beyonce, right? But it's a desire. So on that note, I completely understand what they're saying. The issue is numbers, right?
Correct.
We're going to talk about numbers. But before I talk about the numbers, because I want to put this kind of in perspective a little bit, just for women. So anyone who is dead set on having $100,000 a year man, $150,000 a year man, you'll kind of know what your odds are to get that. You'll kind of know, because it don't matter what we want. It kind of matters what's available and how many and the odds of getting that, right? We can all desire that, but if it's only one of them and it's a million of us, I mean, you gotta look at that.
Odds are extremely slim.
Yeah. So what do you think? First of all, what do you think about Ebony saying, the attorney saying that she wouldn't date a bus driver? He has to own the bus, because clearly that sent social media up into a tailspin last week, particularly, a lot of the men, they were saying that that was unreasonable. She was putting down bus drivers. She was looking down on the everyday average Joe, blah, blah, blah. What do you think about that?
Me personally, I know we've talked about it in previous shows. I think you should date based off of the bracket that you're currently in.
Mm,
So
that's real shit.
bus driver's salary based on what her occupation is. She's a lawyer, isn't she?
Yeah, she's an attorney.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so based off of her occupation, me personally, I wouldn't perceive that she would date a bus driver. I feel
Um,
like that's not in her financial brackets.
and that's what a lot of people are saying, a lot of women, at least a lot of people with a lot of women were saying, is that it seems as if when black women set a financial standard on black men,
Hmm.
that it's a problem in the community. And there's some truth to
Well,
that.
it's only a problem because unfortunately, the majority a lot of times cannot hit that bracket. And just like men have a criteria of, I'm gonna use your example that you gave earlier of looking like Beyonce.
Looking like
Listen,
Beyonce.
everybody can't look like Beyonce. Now, fortunately, when it comes to looks for women, you're able to pay for
Yeah.
that look possibly in order to obtain it.
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm
But
trying to
when,
Go
okay,
ahead. Go ahead. What are you
but
saying?
when it comes to finances, um, well, no, I can't use that comparison. Let me say this: the same way that we can buy those looks, there is a way that the male community can obtain a certain amount of money. They're not being held back. That's a thought process in the mind that has been passed down from generation to generation within the community. They can obtain that if they so choose to. It's obtainable the same way that the Beyonce look is obtainable. Just depends on what you decide to focus your mind on. So both situations are obtainable, is what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha. So you believe that men aren't applying themselves to the point
Yeah,
where they could reach those type of salary requirements that women are
that
having?
that is what I'm perceiving. And I say that because there's a lot of women that have obtained that. And we're not special.
Yeah.
We had the same exact opportunity as any other individual. We're not special. It just depends on how you apply yourself. And unfortunately, within the community, there's a lot of laziness going on. We're just lazy from the women, and you don't even getting the Beyonce look. The Beyonce look doesn't necessarily mean you have to go get surgery in order to get it. You can obtain it other ways, however that works for you,
Yes.
whichever way that works for you. It just depends on how you apply yourself. And it's no different when it comes to working. Listen, social media is set up where you can get to any and everything that you want to get to, whether it's owning your own business. And if that's the route that you want to go, that's fine and dandy. Me personally, I don't mind working for a company because I know for sure my paycheck is going to be there.
Yeah.
Insurance is going to be there. And when I want to go on vacation, my paycheck is still going to be there, whether I'm gone 1 day or 2 weeks. It's still going to be there. It's still going to be the same. It's not going to change. That's my preference. And that's how I grind for my money. And you can do the exact same thing. I'm not, Kanika and I are not different from any other male or female within our community in order to get what you need. Depends on how you set your mind. Again, when it comes to social media, you want to get your resume up to par. Listen, there's all kind of people out there, and this is what they do. They can ramp up your resume for you to get those particular kind of jobs, even while you're trying to create your own business. Again, it depends on how you apply yourself and how you decide to move. But I think again within our community is laziness that's going on both sides.
I think also I think that there has I actually agree with what Ebony said on the Breakfast Club when she said that our community is comfortable in just like being average.
I
I
agree with
think
that.
I I agree with that. I think that
Hmm.
our community has settled into a spot at the bottom of the social totem pole
Hmm.
and it's
And
comfortable
using it
there.
as a a victim mentality. They like to use an excuse. Oh, well, this happened to us and that happened to us.
Yes, I
So
agree.
I agree. Yeah.
Uh, I think that it has, and I don't think it's like a conscious thing. We've settled into complacency. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just that it's been that way for such a long time
Hmm.
that it's
I
almost
agree with that.
like I don't want to say expected, but it's kind of like the normal for this community. And if you
I
try to
agree.
step outside of that and say, no, 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 I want the I want the best for myself. I want the best. I want better than, average or better than um what everybody else is accepting. You kind of get ridiculed for that. It's
You most
almost like,
definitely get
how
ridiculed. You get your
dare
head
you?
cussed. You get your head knocked off by deciding you want to be different than
The community.
everyone else. Yeah, the
Absolutely you
community.
do. Absolutely you do. You can't even have a different opinion, particularly in this
Mm-mm.
community that doesn't align with the Black community.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
you get
how
your head.
dare
It's
you?
getting
You crossing over. You a sellout. You are
yeah.
this. You are that. It's so many names that you get called. It's ridiculous.
It's getting better now because of a lot of the female content creators on YouTube are telling, because it's mostly women who feel this deep loyalty to the community. Black men don't really feel a loyalty to the community.
No, they
Men are
feel a
loyal.
loyalty to themselves
Men are
and
loyal to
and
of
their
all races. Of all races, they're
and
loyal
their
to themselves.
brothering.
Yeah,
Their brothering. They'll ride for them to no end. If they fucking up, it's very few that's gonna tell them, yo, that what you did was janky, fucked up, crazy.
yeah,
You're not gonna hear them say that. They just get quiet.
yeah. They get quiet. It's it's kind of expected. The low expectations is the new norm. So if you challenge that mindset in a
Hmm.
community that has settled into that, it's almost like they think you're a traitor,
They do think
right?
you're a traitor. It's
Because
not think. They do. They think
yeah,
you're a
because
traitor.
she didn't say anything wrong. Only thing she wants everybody to do is be the best self, achieve the most, try to aim high, try to make as much money as
That's
you
it.
can. There's nothing wrong with somebody saying, I want the best for all of you. The problem in this community is everybody don't want the best for themselves. There's a low
Correct.
self-worth issue in this community.
Very
And
much
it's
so.
across the board, the men and the women.
Yes,
Low
it is.
self-worth permeates this community. So
Mm-hmm.
anytime anyone says, "Oh no, I deserve the best, I want the best," it's a problem because this community believes no, you need to be average and you need to take what you can get like all of us do.
Exactly.
That's really the core issue here is she feels worthy and most of the people don't. That's the
Pretty
core
much.
issue. So
Hmm.
so what happens is when someone says I deserve the best and I'm going to get that, what it does is it shines the light on the low self-esteem of everybody else because it's like it's almost like a trigger, like
It is.
how dare you, because I don't need that, I don't feel like I deserve that, so how do you feel like you deserve that,
Hmm.
it's a trigger.
What makes you think you're special when every
Yeah,
last one of us are special based off of whatever you perceive that is for yourself?
and the only difference is between most people and Ebony is she knows that. See, most people don't
Exactly.
know that. Most people
Hmm.
have been tainted by their parents, tainted by their religion, tainted by their race, tainted by the circumstances in which you were born in, tainted by your small town, and it's effed up your mind. It's effed up your self-esteem. That's what's happened. So you think that someone thinking highly of themselves is saying that you are not good enough. No, what it's saying is you already feel not good enough, and that person just shined the light on it, right? Because can't nobody make you feel something that you don't already feel. See, can't nobody make me feel no kind of way because I'm already validated. I've been validated by God. So it's nothing nobody can say to me, no name they can call me, no category they try to put me in, nothing they try to say about my past is going to bother me because I know who I am, right? I stand in that. So words, it doesn't bother me, but that comes from within. I already feel good enough, but if I didn't feel good enough, I too probably would be pissed at someone who's saying, listen, I'm good enough, because it'll make me feel like, how dare you? That's what's going on. It's just a projection. And instead of dealing with the root issue of the uproar, which is low self-worth, they're trying to bring her back down to where they think they are. And that's the problem in this community. There's nothing wrong with a woman saying she wants a provider. There's nothing wrong with that. This is the only community that has a problem with it. And it goes back to what Vanita said, is because most men in this community cannot meet that. So I get it. So it's almost like,
had we said 40 to 50, this wouldn't be a conversation. We wouldn't even be discussing none of this. It wouldn't even be a topic.
I agree. Because when she said that cut out probably about 85% of men.
Pretty much.
Let me go to the numbers. I don't know how much bus drivers make, but I'm just going to tell you just two quick stats so you'll see where we're at here, right? And this is from the Census Bureau. 18% of white males make more than $100,000 or more. 18%, and these are white men, right? Black men, it says 8, the number 8, single digit.
See, I was about to say it's not even double digit.
Single digit, the number 8 of working class black men make over $100,000 a year. 8%, right? That kind of cuts out 90% of men that she probably wouldn't consider dating. We'll give them 80. I think they said like maybe 15% of black men make over 80,000. So that gives you a little bit more room. So it's not a lot, which is why everybody got so mad, because it cut out basically almost all men. Really, she really did. So what happened
for the most part, because even those statistics that you just gave, you don't know what sexuality they prefer. So that cuts out
cuts out the ones that are already married.
Yep.
It's the number is very low.
Dwindles down.
It does. So when anyone who that's your standard, you're not going to bend on that. You're not going to budge on that. I would say you're going to have to open up your options to other races of men in order to, if you're single and you're in the market and you're looking and he has to absolutely make that amount of money, you're going to have to open up your options, because percentage wise, it's just not a lot. It's just not a lot. And I think that's the core issue as well, is most men cannot meet that standard. They just cannot.
That's big time the core issue. Again, if we dropped it to 40 or 50, this would not be a conversation.
Yeah, I agree. Vanita, would you date a bus driver?
Probably not, to tell you the truth.
Why wouldn't you date a bus driver?
He would have to be retired and from something else, and this is a part-time something that he's doing. But as far as his main job, no, because again, my requirements have been 80 and above, and if I'm not mistaken, bus drivers aren't making 80 or above.
Yeah, I don't know how much they make. I don't think it's 8. So
Mm-mm.
your amount,
Is no less than 80. It needs to
period.
be 80 and above, period. Like, I'm definitely not going, I don't care to go below 80.
If you met someone and he you was attracted to him, he did everything right, but he made 55,000 a year. Would you take him?
I'd have to be put into in the situation. I can't say yes or no to that.
you wouldn't take you wouldn't take 55?
I can't tell you yes or no. I'm not gonna give a definitive yes or no on that, because I could say I could meet him and for whatever reason change. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. That's
Um,
not that's not really where I reach to. First of all, second of all, I like to travel. And when I say travel, I'm not talking traveling out. I like to go out of the country. Not I will local travel, US travel, but I prefer out of the country. And that type of money is just difficult, and also to maintain your household. So
yeah.
that's hard. That's hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to travel with my guy, because I know a lot of people be like, well, he ain't got to travel with you. I want to travel with my guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's fair.
So,
That's fair. You want to see the world with your nan, so I get
yeah.
that. Um, Yolanda says 150,000 is too low for her.
Okay.
Nurse
And that makes sense.
practitioners make 180, so I will settle for
Oh,
250 for his ego.
so there you go. There you go. And I get Yolanda. It depends on where your bracket is. So
Absolutely.
you have
Absolutely.
to see exactly what you're talking about. I try. I feel like me saying 80 is giving them a buffer. Shit,
Damn.
it is giving them a buffer. Giving them a
Damn, man.
buffer.
Yeah, for sure. I don't would I date a bus driver? Would Kanique date a bus driver?
Yeah.
For me, it's not necessarily the job title. For me, it's more, are you maintaining your life? And can you maintain your life enough to where you can travel, you can pay your bills, and you're okay, right? So if
I agree
they
with that. But my other biggest thing is, more than anything, is how is he gonna feel?
so Deshaun got a question for us. Deshaun says, Vanita,
Okay. Hmm.
so are y'all looking for real love, or how much of how much
I'm
a
looking
man
for
make?
real love, Deshaun. But what I do know is we all have egos, every last one of us, men and women. And your ego comes into play when it comes to your pockets. That's for men. Y'all
Yeah,
egos are big time tied to your pockets and to your genitals, those two places.
facts.
And if either one of those is lacking, you're going to feel away. I don't want to be in a house with the extra over the top drama because you feel away.
There's some
And
truth
what
to
I
that.
mean by that is, when it comes to your pockets, if I'm making more than what you're making, you're going to a tremendous amount, you're going to feel away, which is why I said 80 is really giving y'all a buffer.
There's some truth to that. That's the part. That's the part that no one really talks about. Usually, when a subject, I notice when a subject comes up and kind of explodes or goes viral on social media, a lot of people just talk about the symptom. They don't really talk about the wound, if you will,
Exactly.
that's causing this. There's some truth behind when a man isn't making, if he's not comfortable in his financial position in life, that not feeling good enough because he feel like his pockets ain't good enough, it comes out in the relationship. That causes a problem. And
Mm-hmm.
as it would, because anytime anybody, whether it's men or women, don't feel good about themselves, it comes out in the relationship.
Period. If you feel like you're not, if a man feels like he's not making enough, but yet the woman makes it and she's steady traveling with her friends regardless, and maybe he hops on a couple of those trips, maybe a couple. The ones that he does not get on, he feels a kind of way. I've seen it over and over and over and over and over. They
Mm-hmm.
feel a way. You lash out. You cannot help it. You make comments like, oh, it must be nice to go on trips like that.
Yeah.
What the heck are you talking about? Because you can do the exact same thing. I'm not special. The country didn't just say only Vanita can come. The country allows whomever want to come and spend their bread in their country will allow you to. Vanita just so happens to like to travel to different countries. So if I'm traveling and you don't have the finances too, but yet I go on, that's going to cause friction in the house. He's going to come back with well, we got this bill due, or we need to pay this off, or we're supposed to start this or that or that or this. It's always going to be something that he's going to try to push back on because the finances in his mind isn't really there. But that's on his end.
I agree. And coming from someone who's dated both ends of the spectrum, I've dated men who don't have no money. Not a lot of money.
Same
He had
here.
some money, but not a lot of money. That
Mm-hmm.
was an amazing, amazing person, great person, had a good heart. And I've also dated someone or men, couple with a lot of money. And every man comes with something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to kind of talk about the reason why it seems as if the standards of women are so high now. I want to talk about the reason for that. Ashley said, I think it's important for my partner to be financially responsible. That is the key for me. There are a lot of men that make a good salary and don't know what to do with it or blow it. That's very important.
I agree
Ashley.
with that too.
I agree with that too. I think being financially responsible and disciplined, having a mate that is all of those things is very important because money
Yes.
plays a major role in relationships. They just do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I 100% agree with you, Miss Ashley. But there's a reason why it seems as if all of a sudden women we have these high standards or what men are saying or astronomical demands about what a man should make and the money he should bring to the relationship. So what's happened is that a lot of women, particularly in our community, have been left, cheated on, abused, and effed over by the average dude, right?
Correct.
That's standard in this community. I know people don't like to talk about it. It's like, well, it's not all men and all men are
I
not
was
like
gonna
that.
say it's not all,
It's
but
not all.
unfortunately, it's a large majority.
A lot of women, almost every woman I know, to be completely honest, probably with the exception of Vanita, she didn't really have no issues with her baby daddy, but everybody I almost know is currently, was, or have been effed over by the average dude. And these are dudes, these women did a lot for these men. This is not something I'm talking about just, I would say the last 5 years, 10 years. This is something I've seen all my life. I'm just going to I'm going to keep this shit all the way 100. All my life, I've been seeing men effing over women, average Joes, probably below average Joes, don't really have a lot. Some don't have cars. Women have taken them in, have helped them get on their feet, have helped them do this, have helped them get their credit together to do this, have given them children. This is all my life. I've seen this, right? Just to end up getting cheated on, left, abused, mistreated, lied to, manipulated, all of that, and left with kids, right? That's kind of the storyline in this community for Black women. It is. And it's not all black women. There are women with great men who don't do that. That has been the narrative I've seen all my life. I would say I'm going to say about 70% of the time. 70% of the pie is a lot of pie. So that's a lot of women being effed over. So what's happened is now women are saying, okay, I've given the average guy a chance and I got effed over and he didn't even have shit. So if I'm going to do this again, I'm going to at least get something out of the deal besides a baby. That's what's happening now, right? Women have kind of woken up, black women, to the notion that you might be getting the short end of the stick here. So this is why you see these, what men are saying are astronomical financial demands on women, because women are basically, they have fed up. They're fed up. They've woken up like, okay, if you're going to cheat, lie, manipulate, do all these things, at least I can be financially okay. Because it seems as if from the past and from what we kind of see collectively, I've seen all my life, is you're going to get effed over. Whether you're cheated on, lied, manipulated to, it's going to happen. So at least let me have the financial part of my life straight. At least let him be able to provide that part if he's going to do all this other shit. That's what's happened, right? There's a reason for this. Because from what I do know, particularly about black women, and I've seen it all my life again, ride or die. Even to men who don't. Who do y'all think when they got dated by millionaires? They got dated by regular ass, average ass Negroes. No, really. It's regular dudes. Women got this, so all these years, it's just been women been dating regular, men who make 40, whatever the average salary is. I don't know. I think 40 or whatever. They're making dating average men and below average. Women been doing this for decades now, just to be left with nothing but a baby to show for it. So
there ain't no trips involved. There's nothing. I don't even have no grand memories. Like at least I hit the dang going out of the country beach, because the out of country beach is different than the U.S. beaches.
Yeah,
I don't have none of those. Yeah, I didn't have this keg by you, and have we made memories at somebody's resort with the baby?
No,
no.
Women have realized in the dating game, black women have gotten the short end of the stick. So now it's like, all right, since I'm gonna have to deal with all these extras, if I'm gonna get with you, then you need to be able to provide the financial part, because we know it's gonna be some shit. So
where are the perks?
That's the driving force behind this hike in what women are requiring financially
from men.
It's because the regular dude, he gonna F you over. He unappreciative, ain't gonna do shit, all of this. So you might as well go for the big dog. So that's what's happened. You might as well be compensated for your future pain. That's what's happening. Unfortunately, the good or the bad, depending on which side you're on, is there's not a lot of men who make that amount of money. It's definitely not a lot of in our community. Women, you would fare better going to the Asian community, because they're half of their men. No, seriously, I'm not even. It's no shade to nobody. It's a numbers thing. Half of their men make that.
That is true, but Asian men play different when it comes to their looks that they look for. So, good luck on that one.
I'm just let women know. I'm just letting it's a numbers thing, because we can desire it, and I think every woman should. Every woman deserves a provider. I believe that. It's just not a lot of them. So now what? That the numbers don't match up either. Yeah. And look, I'm okay with being single. I feel like single is just as great as being married or in a relationship, but most people don't seem to think like me. That's why I'm trying to give women the numbers, because most women, that's their whole main goal, is one of them to get married or have a relationship. So in order to get that, particularly a provider, you got to you have to consider the numbers. You have to consider the ratio or chances, percentage that you can obtain this type of dude. 8% in this community, you're gonna have to open up your options because, like, take out the ones who married in the 8%, take out the ones who are not heterosexual, take out the ones who don't even date black women. What you left to about what 5%, maybe,
Maybe
maybe
lower than that.
5%. That's not a lot. Everybody else will just make all
Yeah.
the rest of the men make regular money, and you can get a great guy that makes regular money. You can get a great guy that makes regular money, but you're gonna have to come down on the money, right? And I'm not I am not a proponent of telling anybody, men or women, what they should do. But what I will say is the numbers are slightly against women when it comes to finding a a man of that caliber of my needs. It's just not a lot of them. So now, Yolanda say Asian men do date black women. Lee.
I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying it's not a lot of them. They do have a look requirement.
All men have a look requirement. Most men have a look requirement though, and that's another
And
thing that
that
we have to.
is true. But when it comes to Asian men, a lot of them like their women more on the slender type side than any kind of hips or butt. Now, not to say that there are not some that do. I'm saying the majority, because if the majority of Asian men liked black women like that, it would be more of them married to them.
Let's talk about that.
Because there's a tremendous amount of black women that are ready to get married.
Let's talk about that. What Vanita just
Okay.
said. I want to touch on that for just a second. We also have to consider the fact that men with money, men without money, the men with money, most of them want you to look a certain kind of way.
Most definitely. They just do.
That's just the truth. That's the truth. Usually, men with money are going to require you to be either slim or thick with curves, but not. No, you're going to have to
And their
look.
definition of thick is different from our definition of thick.
Yeah, you're going to have to get. If you want to obtain a man of means, ladies, you're going to have to look the part. You're going to have to do your part to obtain this. And a big part of that is looking the part. We're going to have to get our weight together. And I'm
Hmm.
not only talking about just here, I'm talking about me too. Because I also go up and down the scale. I also fight the
Oh,
weight battle along with every other woman. It's a big thing in
oh,
our community, as we can see. But in order to, men with money, they are going to, because that for men, looks is for men like money is for women, right? That's
mhm.
our currency in the dating world. Now, that's not our currency in the just regular, because we're all, beautiful and amazing and all of those things. But as far as when in the dating game, looks is going to play a big part in the caliber of man that you're able to obtain. It's not always, there's exceptions. I know it's not
Of
all men with
course.
money don't. But for the general rule, I'm not talking about the exception. I'm talking about the general rule. Regular men who make $40,000 a year have look
Look for a
requirements,
look. Yeah, they do.
right? So when you get a man who has the ability to choose from millions of women, he's probably going to choose from the most attractive of the group, just like we would if we had, you know, 10 men, we could pick any of them and marry them, and two of them were millionaires. You're probably going to lean more towards the millionaires, right?
Most definitely. Yep.
That's just kind of the currency, of men. So it goes both ways. And I'm saying that to say that we also have to take into consideration the looks factor when we are trying to attract a mate. Do the honest, are
Mhm.
we up to, we kind of know, where we are, as far as looks and what we can
Mhm.
work on, because you can lose weight, you can
Most
dress,
definitely.
it's things you can do to make yourself more marketable as women to these men that, we desire, particularly the ones that are financially, well off and stable. So you're right, V. That actually is a good thing to be mindful of. Do you look the part? Well, whether it's particularly if you're dating out as well, because all men, whether no matter the race, are gonna want you to look a certain kind of way, particularly if they have money. Now, if you ain't got no money, he just trying to find a place to live in a car to drive. Get your license unsuspended. They'll take you.
Jesus Christ, the license
The
unsuspended.
men who got their stuff together, yeah, you're gonna have to look a kind of way. But back to what I was saying about me, particularly if I date a Dutch driver, if he's can maintain his life and we can maintain a stable household and still travel and do the things we wanted to do. There also has to be, for me, it's more than just money. Money's a thing, because again, I've dated men who didn't have a lot of it, and I know how that comes into play in the relationship. So I can't date a man without any, because it just doesn't work. I've been there, done that. But it also has to be, for me, connectivity, because I've dated men with a lot of money, or money, more money than most men have. And sometimes it just doesn't feel connected. So I have all the money and I have all the things, right? I have all the things, but I don't feel connected to him spiritually or emotionally. So that still doesn't work for me, right? I can't.
Now, if we talk in other criterias, of course, I think a lot of women feel that to a certain extent. Those that will get money, they may not be okay with, that either.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's
yeah,
other stuff that comes into play.
absolutely. It's things that come into play when you're deciding to merge your life with someone else's life. So to answer the question, if all the other things added up and he could financially maintain his life, and I don't know how much bus drivers make, but if we could be good, the job title is not necessarily the thing for me. Is, can we be, live comfortably and not have to struggle? Because I can struggle by myself. I don't need nobody to jump on the struggle bus with me. I can get on the struggle bus by myself. So the finances is a big thing. So it's a big thing.
Finances is a huge thing. I mean, if we look at the statistics, finances is pretty up there, if not one or two, on relationships breaking up.
Yeah, for sure. I need to get married. I need a deal partner. I'm just kidding. Need somebody to split these bills or pay all the deals. What we gonna
Listen,
do?
as one of our friends said, she needs some help on paying the mortgage. She needed a retired military person that gets some discounts on some of these taxes and shit that's going on your house. So
let me get the
property taxes.
Right. No, but seriously, it does come into to play. I think both, particularly for men, because it's directly attached to a man's ego and how he feels about himself. It's directly attached to that.
It's more of that than anything. It's really more of that than anything, because that's where the lashing out and the feeling a kind of way and nitpicking on small stuff, that's where it comes from. And cheating.
You want to feel like a man. Yeah, it comes from the lack of feeling worthy.
Because even say you're married to him and he can't go on trips, and you constantly going on trips with your friends, he gonna feel quote unquote alone, as they say, and they have to step out. Those type of things come into play.
You're not gonna pay for your man to go on a trip with you.
If he's financing some of the bills in this house, I mean, we can discuss some things. It's really hard to say, but I need you to be okay with you. I will tell you that.
That's important. And it's the same for women with men. You want to date, we want all these rich men with this money or whatever, but do you feel good enough for him? Because you can say you want him, You can get him, but are you going to feel worthy of it? Are you always going to feel like you don't look the part? You're not this
That
enough or
way.
not that enough, or he's going to find someone else. You have to be 100% good with yourself. Be good with yourself first, because it's easier to maintain what you desire if you feel worthy of it, right?
Yeah, because even the scenario I just gave about him feeling like he's lonely, what do you think you're going to be feeling when you're out of town with your friends? Oh, he's seeing somebody else, or oh, he thinking this, he thinking that. So it goes both ways on everything.
Yeah, you somewhere with your friends and you started calling him trying to see if he at home and he out in the street.
Exactly.
Not good with yourself, not feeling secure within yourself. That's
Nope.
winning. So yeah, you want
Yep.
him, but do you really believe you deserve him?
It goes
Because
both
again,
ways.
there is a low self-worth issue going on in the female community too. We dealing with it.
Big
Because
time.
if we weren't dealing with it, there's no way we would have accepted the stuff that we've accepted from men.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even talking about just I'm talking about me too.
All of us.
All accepted some shit you shouldn't have accepted, dealt with some shit you shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
That's a self-worth thing, right? So we're all fighting this battle. And that's what we saw with the Ebony K. Williams issue is people lashing out because she shined a light upon the low self-worth that's in the community. That's all this
Mm-hmm.
it is. Right. So don't
Yep.
be mad at the teachers hiding shining the light on it. Deal with the wound.
Yes. What's happening inside of you? How are you? Because if you're reacting off of it, it's because you feel like you don't have something or another
That's all it is.
yourself.
That's all it is. Because if you didn't, it wouldn't have
So
bothered you.
figure out what that is that you feel like you need to get to, and you can get to anything that you want to get to. You're
Absolutely.
Ebony's not special by being a lawyer. Anybody can be a lawyer. Depends on what you decide to do with your life.
Absolutely.
And the
Absolutely.
education to get into it and do it, whatever it is. Doesn't necessarily have to be a lawyer, but whatever the occupation is, choose to evolve up and not just be okay with the status quo.
And if you decide to be okay with the status quo and that's your thing and it's all good and this and that, don't get mad because somebody else want more for their life. That's all
Exactly.
I'm saying. If you're
That.
good where you at, that's all well and good. It's your life. People make the choices they need to make for themselves, but we can't get mad because somebody else say, "Nah, I want to be at the top."
Exactly, because
The
Ebony
bottom
ain't
ain't good
stopping
enough for me.
nobody. Who is she stopping? She's not affecting nobody's life but her own.
Yeah, she
She's
just
not
said
affecting
she just said
nobody.
she didn't want to date a bus driver. She didn't tell y'all not to.
She did not. You can date who the heck you want to. It's
Yeah,
no
everybody
bearings
can.
on her. She's not
Everybody
sleeping
can.
with them. They're not walking into her house. None of that. That's
Absolutely.
you in your life. And that's okay if that works for you.
It's the same thing for men. And men want to date a woman who has a banging body and is what they consider a 10 and looks. He has the right to desire that. When they
That he
can't get mad
does.
because he desires to date a 10. That's what he wants. And he's
Entitled to
absolutely
that.
100% entitled to that. Everybody
Just
is
like you're
entitled
entitled to it.
to desire what they desire. Everyone is.
Period.
Everyone
Nobody's
is.
stopping nobody's life. We get too much in an uproar. We love being angry and involved in other people's lives.
Right.
And we never look back at ourselves. We never stop to ask ourselves, why am I even getting affected by this? I don't even know this lady. I wouldn't even known her had they not shown her on TV. I don't know nothing about this woman.
Other question is, why do you care? You care because the reason why it exploded because it hit everybody's low self-worth meter. That's what it did. So think about that. If something bothers you, and I'm gonna go ahead and wind down on this. If something bothers you, it makes you feel a way, something someone says about you or a label someone puts on you, really search yourself as to why that bothers you.
Exactly.
Do you feel that way about you?
That's the question.
And
if you do, acknowledge it and then figure out how to change it, because clearly you wasn't okay with it.
Absolutely.
So figure out how to change it. Anything can be changed. It's really just a thought process. That's all it is. It's
That's all
all
it
up
is.
here. It's all in here. It's not
Yeah.
outside of you. It's right in here.
Yeah.
So figure out what's happening here.
And I'll say this too. Just because someone doesn't want to date you or you're not in someone's cup of tea, whether you're a man or woman, because we ain't here not a cup of tea. We all know they that got their
Real talk.
preferences.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing off you. It doesn't mean
It's
that you're
not.
not good enough. It doesn't mean any of that. That's just their preference. No more, no less.
That's
So
it.
you don't have to take everything so personally.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take everything so personally. Learn how to be like, okay, that's their preference, all good. Uh,
There you go.
yeah, it's not a rejection against you. It's just their preference, and that's okay. Whether it's men and women both alike. Everybody's not gonna want us. Everybody's not gonna like us.
I've
Just
been
like
rejected many a times,
yeah, I have
many
to.
of times.
We all have.
Mm-hmm.
I just charged to the game. They did the next one. Maybe the next man would like me.
Maybe so.
Maybe so.
Hey, listen, I want to like the person that likes me back. That's reciprocating
Absolutely.
the same energy. You don't
Yeah,
want to deal with folks that's not giving you the same energy back. How do you win in that? It tears you down. It does not lift you up.
I agree. 100%. I agree. So on that note, we about at a good hour. So I think
We
is
are.
a good time to go ahead and close the show. But once again,
Okay.
thank you all for tuning in as usual. Thanks for everybody in the chat. Some names I've never seen before. Thank you
Right
guys for
on.
joining. I love that you are here. We'll be back next Wednesday. Thank you to my lovely co-host Vanita. As always, you are amazing.
Thank
Um,
you. You as well.
Same time, we be back next Wednesday. I'm excited about our topic next Wednesday, guys. Let me tell you what it
What are
is.
we on? Yes. What are we on?
I found out my fiance was a stripper and did a couple of porn movies.
Okay.
And now I'm thinking of calling off the wedding.
Oh no.
What
Okay.
should I do? So we're
That's
going to
gonna be
talk
an
about,
interesting one.
yeah, we're going to talk about men and their this thing men have with the sexuality of women because it's deep.
Okay.
It's very this programming is very, very deep. So we're going to talk about that. But again, thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back next week, 7:30,
Yes.
streaming here and also, on my Facebook page. So yeah, we'll see you then. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I would say we might come on this weekend, but I know we're not. It's Mother's Day. Because
Yes.
usually when we come on Sunday morning, but it's Mother's Day, so we're gonna spend time with the beautiful moms in our life. So we will
Yes.
definitely be back next Wednesday, 7:30. And once again, thank you all for joining. Have a great rest of your night.
Good night.
Bye, y'all.